Ever found yourself reacting in ways that make no sense? You shut down, pulled away, lashed out, and afterward you wonder, where did that come from? What if I told you the reason you're feeling this way has nothing to do with today? It's something much older, a feeling that's been following you, not just in obvious moments, but in the quiet ones, in the tension you carry in your shoulders, the way you brace for impact even when nothing's wrong, shaping your reactions without you even knowing. The things we experienced in childhood, the laughter echoing through playgrounds, the toys we left behind without knowing why, and the moments we wish we could forget, raised voices, cold silences. All of it has a way of staying with us. You might think the past is behind you, but what if it's still controlling your relationships, your trust, your self-worth? Maybe you've been wondering, why do I struggle to feel safe? Why does it feel like I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop? The truth is, the wounds we carry from childhood don't just disappear. They live on in how we love, or even in how we refuse to be loved. Childhood doesn't end when we grow up. It just gets quieter. What we felt as children, like being ignored, shamed, dismissed, or left alone emotionally, doesn't vanish. It hides in how we handle conflict, in whether we trust others or keep our guard up, in the way we crave connection, yet fear being truly seen. These aren't just personality quirks. They're coping mechanisms built by a child trying to survive in a world that didn't always feel safe. And without realizing it, we bring those survival patterns into adulthood, into every friendship, every argument, every moment of silence. From the very beginning, we learn how to feel safe or unsafe through our caregivers. If comfort came quickly when we cried, if we were seen, heard, and soothed, we learned the world was dependable, that love was safe to trust. But if love was inconsistent, if warmth came with conditions, or if we were left to figure it out alone, we learned something else, that closeness is risky, that people disappear, that maybe we're too much or not enough. This is how attachment forms, not as a theory, but as a deep emotional blueprint, one that shapes how we connect, how we push away, and how we try to protect ourselves from being hurt again. You might not remember the wound, but its patterns show up again and again. Maybe it's the way you go silent when things get tense, or how you try to make everyone happy just to feel safe. Maybe it's that quiet voice inside that says, "Don't get too close. They'll leave." These aren't just random habits. They're adaptations, shaped in response to emotional environments that didn't feel stable or safe. Hyper-independence, over-apologizing, avoiding conflict at all costs. They all served a purpose. At one time, they protected you, but now, they may be keeping you from the very connection you long for. At the heart of many invisible wounds is a quiet belief, I'm not enough. Or worse, I'm too much. When love felt conditional in childhood, given only when we behaved, succeeded, or stayed small, we learned something painful, that our worth had to be earned. So we carry shame, not for something we did, but for who we are. It seeps into how we trust, how we speak, how much we let others see the real us. We either cling or pull away. We build walls or beg for reassurance. But beneath all of it, we're still trying to answer the same question, one that started long ago. Can I be fully myself and still be loved? Awareness is the beginning, because what we don't name, we repeat. The moment you start noticing your patterns, the shutdowns, the people-pleasing, the fear of closeness, you're no longer just reacting, you're remembering, and that matters. Not to blame the past, but to understand it. You're not broken. You adapted. Those responses you carry were once your best attempt at feeling safe. And now, you have the chance to choose something new. Not overnight, not perfectly, but slowly, and with compassion. Healing isn't linear, but every small act of awareness, every boundary you set, every time you show up differently, that's healing in motion. Part of that healing means meeting the part of you that still waits. The child inside, who never got the safety, the softness, or the unconditional love they needed. This isn't about dwelling in the past. It's about remembering who you were, so you can become who you're meant to be. When we care for that inner child, we begin to feel whole again. We stop abandoning ourselves. We learn to stay, even in discomfort. And we stop needing others to complete us, because we finally start coming home to ourselves. The wounds of childhood aren't always visible, but they live in the spaces between our words, in the pauses before we trust, in the parts of ourselves we hide. But every moment of awareness, every time you pause and ask, "Where did this come from?" is a moment of healing. You're not alone in this. We all carry stories we didn't choose, but we can choose how they end. The past may echo, but it doesn't have to define you. And slowly, gently, you can become the safe place you never had. Thank you for watching. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might need this message, and subscribe to Fragments of Meaning for more deep dives into psychology, human behavior, and emotional wisdom. Also, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. What have you come to understand about your inner child, and how those early moments still shape you today? Your story might help someone else feel less alone.